welcome to another episode of Discount Pokemon Decks. Today's deck, we have Malamar, Hoopa, and friends. So basically, the focal point of this deck is Malamar's Psychic Recharge. This is, we're seeing a lot of Malamar obviously in different decks, but there's discounts to be had with Malamar as well. This is such a powerful ability to attach an energy to one of your bench Pokemon from your discard. So yeah, let's make some decks with it. This is, Psychic is pretty easy to get and set up thanks to Mysterious Treasure. It's easy to evolve. It's easy to retreat with Altar of the Moon. So this makes Malamar better energy accelerator than, let's say, Vikavolt. It's only a stage 1. Vikavolt's a stage 2. You're taking it from your discard, even though it's only 1 energy. It's much easier to set up. The payoff is much quicker, and you can get a lot of output out of it, a lot of damage. So basically, the focal point is this Psychic Recharge with our Pokemon. The main one here is Hoopa, Portal Strike, 130 damage. I think this card's going to be going out of standard in September. But this should give you a good idea of what you should be looking for. There's maybe some other ideas, some other cards we can use as well, and some of them are here. But, I think this is kind of what you're looking for. 3 energy, does 130 damage. Yes, you cannot use it 2 turns in a row unless you retreat somehow. So that's a good thing, something to keep in mind. Also, Giratina's Crisis Dive, 160 damage. This is 4 energy. It's a little bit more, but you do have the Chaotic Star ability to help you get energy. And believe it or not, you will get this card powered up more often than not. Next on the list is Clefairy. This Metronome attack, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack, whatever that said. But basically, it's like Zoroark Break and a lot of other cards that allow you to mimic one of your opponent's attack. Very powerful, even though it's like 40 hit points. There's got to be a name for that. I have to come up with a good term for these like little tiny Pokemon that can do outrageous amounts of damage. It's like a glass cannon or something like that. I think I've heard that before. So there you go, glass cannon, Clefairy, and then Shining Lugia, Argent Wing. It does 60 and 60 more if your opponent has an ability. So this is great if your opponent has a deck with abilities. And of course, even a Rangaroo, Psychic. Psychic does 60. It needs 3 to be powered up, but if your opponent's got 2 energy on it, this will do 100, 3, 120, etc., etc. So it's another good card to kind of scale up. So if you kind of see what we have here, other than Giratina, which is hard to get out consistently, and of course to get back in your hand because it's a Prism Star card, and let's say even Clefairy, you can kind of mix and match your attackers as you're playing along. Hoopa does something else, it's a little synergy here. Hyperspace Punch, 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So if you think of it this way, you want to knock out a Pokemon with 170 hit points. Well, you do 2 Hyperspace Punches and then they're a Portal Strike away. So you can use this early to soften them up, or if your opponent retreats one of his damaged Pokemon to the bench, you can use this to kind of, catch him before he can be Acerola back in their hand. So basically, that's the focal point of this deck. There's some good synergy here. They're all basic Pokemon, so fighting Fury Belt helps us keep them alive, and that does work. Hoopa has 130 hit points. That means with the belt, they need 170. Although you have to be careful because you're going to get field blowered, and it happened to me one game. My opponent had 2, I think a Hoopa and a Shining Lugia damaged on my bench, past their hit points, but alive, but just one field blower took them both out. So, but that's how it goes. There's not all that much synergy. I do have a Plumeria here, and the reason why is because we have a Rangaroo, so we want to get cards out of our hand. I do have 2 Ultra Ball, which will help both get energy out, cards out of our hand that help a Rangaroo. Max Elixir here, that will help obviously power up our Pokemon. So, the idea is to power these up quick and just start beating away at our opponent. Alter the Moon is good for all our Pokemon because we're using Psychic Energy, but especially good for Hoopa. So you could use something like a Guzma and then retreat. So let's say use Hoopa, Portal Strike attack 1 turn. If he's still alive, we can't use Portal Strike again, but We could retreat him and then use, retreat him with Altar of the Moon so that we're not losing any energy, and then Guzma him back into the active spot. So there is definite benefits to this. Also helps us. We don't need any float stones or anything like that, especially for like our Rangaroo or Malamar. We're running a 3/3 line here because why not? Let's get as much energy on them as possible. No EXGX, so our opponent's got to collect all 6 prizes straight up. And that's basically it. There's not much else to say about this deck. There is one Rescue Stretcher, one Pal Pad to get some of this stuff back in our hand. It plays pretty well. And let's get to game number 1. Alright, here we go. So, it took me a little while to find an opponent, although it'll seem instantaneous for you. And I did say game 1. Again, that's probably the only game. I'm only doing one game these days to keep myself sane, but also, yes, I would like to go first with this deck. But also, I guess to keep the videos a little bit shorter. No reason why you should watch me slugging out. And then also, like, trying to make sure I get 3 wins in. Win or lose or draw, it doesn't matter. I am done after one game. Alright, so I did, alright, it's not the greatest draw, but look, we have the ability to do some stuff here. Definitely Fury Belt on this Lugia. Dump this energy to get a Inky over here. And then play Cynthia. I'm not too concerned about getting this Malamar up. I have 3/3 in my deck. I could play N. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I'll hold that till later. And I do want to get energy in my discard pile. Or I could even use it for a Hoopa. But I think I'm going to go with the less used card. So I will go with the Inky. Because that would get these 2 out of my hand. But almost certain to run. Oh, there's only 2 in here. So that's something to keep mindful of. So one of them is prized. I mean, I'll gain 1 card by playing N now. I'm fine with not. My opponent also doing energy acceleration. Yeah, see, I did get the Hoopa here. Right. We've got energy acceleration going. Kind of stuck here though. The Shining Lugia. I almost don't want to put the energy on him. I mean, I'm not. You know what? Let my opponent go after him. This guy will be fully charged in a bit. So I'm kind of dead-handed here. And because I used the didn't use the Ultra Ball, I couldn't get my Rangaroo out, which would be nice. And then you kind of see why I have the deck with the Rangaroo, because I do empty out my hand pretty quickly most of the time. So I do have ample draw on this deck. I think there's about 10 supporters for draw, plus a Rangaroo. Ooh, heads on that. What item card? Rare Candy? I called it, huh? Alright, so I'm not liking how this is looking because I'm stuck here with a bad hand, but the one thing about playing non-EXGX decks is you don't have to worry too much. The thing I am worried about is my opponent coming after Malamar and NK. That is a problem. That's a weakness of this deck, and I've talked about that with other decks. When you kick the legs out, when you go after the weak spot, that is a good way to hurt your opponent. And there we go. So, what I'd like to see, well, no, I don't want to see him knocked out. The good thing is, nope, he doesn't have an ability. So Shining Lugia doesn't really help that much unless I'm going after Mr. Magnezone. And he can't evolve this right now anyway. It's turn 1. I'm just occurred that. So again, maybe a little too soon. Now, ooh, this is tough. Do I play Malamar and wait a turn, or do I play, you know what, I'm going to get rid of Malamar. I want a Rangaroo. I think that's more important. I have 2 here. And I do have a rescue stretcher there, so I can put him back in my deck. I think it's more important to get the draw right now. And keep the draw because, you know, who knows. Oof. Well, I do have the ability to get him back. I don't really want to get rid of this Shining Lugia yet. I don't really need to play these right now. I can play this Rescue Structure and get our Malamar back, but let's see what happens. I may have to empty my hand, even though I don't really want to play Lugia down, because he doesn't really help here in this matchup. I can use Arrow Force if I get 4 on him. It's not ideal. My idea is not to get 2 of them out. And I should have probably put this energy on this Lugia, come to think of it. That was probably a mistake, because if he gets knocked out, it goes into my recycle bin, my discard anyway, which I can use. And I will have a Malamar here, but I can power up the Oranguru. He may go after my Oranguru if he has a chance, but I don't think... It doesn't look like my opponent has a lot of draw here. Oh, it's Professor's Letters. Professor's Letter. See, with this guy here, I would love to get Metronome and get Clefairy up, so... That's good. Sometimes you know, it's interesting with this deck because the idea is not to get Lugia stuck in the active spot and not able to move him. The idea is to get Hoopa and start putting pressure on early. And I've kind of failed with goal number 1. And that's how Pokemon goes. You know, you plan your deck one way and it doesn't always come out that way. There's a lot of random chance in this. So oh, my opponent's really piling up the metal energy. But you know, so the idea is to keep pressure on them early, so because when I usually play this, I have the Clefairy here and it's obviously very susceptible to any kind of attack, but I had him on my bench for a while with a single energy and I waited until I had 2 Malamar and then I loaded him up and just blasted away my opponent's GX. This is just a recent game I played in, so alright, so he's got it. Who's he gonna come after? There's a Float Stone. So Lugia is dead, which is alright. Hoopa will come up. I think my opponent's resistant. Yes, he is. So he's got to check all this energy. He's only getting 1 card, so he's only going to have 2 cards. Wow, he doesn't even knock him out. Wow, so he's going to have 1 single card. Oh, because he didn't do the main attack. He just did Claw Slash, so he's going to take his time hacking away at that. I think I'm going to put the second Lugia down and totally free up my hand. Yeah, I want him in my hand here. This could come back to haunt my opponent here because, you know, maybe I get him out of that active spot and later on he can attack. So let's use Oranguru here. I'm not going to use Malamar's ability just yet. I want to see what I get from my hand. Oof! So I could put a single energy on him, but that does me no good. Let's get the next Hoopa ready, right? If I hold on to this energy, you know what? I don't need to hold on to this energy. I'm going to buy some time in a bit. Because it doesn't seem like my opponent has a whole lot of options. And I don't really want to lose this guy. So now we're ready to fight here. Hoping my opponent doesn't draw something lucky. Oh, like a Tapu Lele or anything like that. Oh, so painful. Into a Sycamore. Wow, look at that. That is top decking extraordinaire. That was beautiful. If I scripted that, you would not believe it. I'll tell you that much. So, my opponent's back in the game. Can't play a Guzma here, which I'm happy about. He's going to knock this Lugia. I'm going to put this Inkay on my bench. And hopefully I get something to draw, because I'm kind of... that's fine. Yeah, so we're good with energy here. And even after I do a Rangaroo, I can use this Ultra Ball. Nope. Straight Sycamore. Alright, one good Sycamore deserves another. Let's see what we get here. There's Clefairy. And who do we want to power up? Maybe the Oranguru. I think he's next. I'd love to say this for the Clefairy, but I'm going to run out of bench space, so you know what? He's got 4 energy on that guy, so that'll be 60. 4 times 2, 8. That's 140 if I'm calculating that right. 60, hold on. I like to do it this way. 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. So it's not bad. I don't see my stadium here, which is unfortunate. But so this will do 110 if I'm counting this right. No. 120. So yeah, 120. So that's a fair amount of damage. I mean, if you think about it, this is pretty good for the output. That's why I have to guard my Malamars, because you see how easy they power up. I wish there was better colorless Pokemon, especially basic. They don't seem to be that many. And the worst part is, I'm trying to find ones that are not weak to fighting, because there's so much fighting in the meta. And they're just, you know, I'd love to have like something, you know, like let's think about it. Like even like Beware, something silly like that. You know, or Sil Valley GX. But you can't in this meta because there's so much fighting. You know, Buzzwole, Lycanroc. There's a few others too, but it's just not really worth it. So Duskmane is close to dying. What does my opponent do? Is he going to take out my Hoopa? Because I'm fine with that. Oh, Dialga. That is fantastic with Clefairy. I can totally destroy this guy. So, I think he's going to retreat here. I don't have a Guzma in my hand. And I can't one-shot this guy either. Well, I can if he's got 4 energy. What is this? I think 160, so 4. No! He's just powering him up. That's fine with me. And I'm going to get all that energy back and then some. I'm going to save a Rangaroo. I'm going to match up a Rangaroo with Sol. My idea is to match up Clefairy with... I'm going to play an N here. Get my opponent down to 4 cards. Because this guy needs cards in hand, so... There we go. We can put this on Clefairy. And where's my stadium? I almost want to fake him out. Let's fake him out a little bit. Because what happens if I put all that energy on Clefairy, he obviously knows Cle is going to attack next. So let's get 1 on him. And I'm really saving Cle for Dialga. Oh, I have a Guzma in my hand. Yeah, change of plans. Let's put it back on him. Whoa, that was weird. Alright, so we're going to knock this guy out. And we're probably going to get knocked out by this guy. I think, feeling pretty good about this matchup, especially with Clefairy in my bench, Guzma in my hand, energy in my hand. So I basically did it this way, so with a single energy in my hand, I could power either of them up. Or even with Guzma, I could send 1 active, use Malamar, Guzma the target, and I will be off and running. As long as Clefairy stays, I'm good. Alright, so Mount Coronet. And I want to Field Blower this, but I figure I'll be knocking him out soon enough. And now, like, I don't like using Field Blower on a single item. I'd rather get 2. And I'm going to Guzma Dialga, hit him for 150. Yep, and then I'm going to hit him. I'm just going to knock him out. Oh, he didn't even attack. Oh, this is going to be sad. Yeah, and it's pretty good. So you're going to see the synergy here as well with Hoopa. Hoopa did not attack this, would not be able to have attacked this turn. Anyway, so let's get Shining Lugia up and running. Did I use both? Yep. So he's almost ready. Still have another Guzma. Getting rid of his Stadium. And his Floatstone. And I'm going to go twice in a row. Oh, so sweet. Oh, and for weakness. I didn't even see that part. This is over. This game is over. Wow, I don't even have to Guzma whoever comes up next, I don't think. Because who's he going to put? Probably Remoraid. I may have to Guzma again. 1, 2, 3, 60, 80, 100, 120. Did my opponent just quit? Who's he weak against? Fire. Who's he weak against? Fire as well. Wow. I want to knock out him, but 150 will not cut it. If I retreat, what does he do? 1660. Yeah, you know what? We're just going to take this guy out. Oh, why did I do that? I could have just taken him out. Oh, well. It happens. I definitely want Oranguru to go next, given that that's his probable next Pokemon. Yeah. I still have Clefairy here. I still have Oranguru. If he knocks out Hoopa, I can power up this Shining Lugia easily for 130. Although none of these guys are in 130 range, but... I may have to go through Tapu Lele. That's fine. If he loads up Lele, Oranguru is going to have a good time with that. Lugia just needs one more energy there for 120. I can copy an attack. So I'm feeling pretty good here. No matter what, I should be able to get that one prize. So, oh, did I speak too early? No, he's taking Clefairy out. All right, so, but Oranguru will take him out. $60, $80, $100, $120, $140. Ooh, $60, $80, $100, $120, $140. Still, we'll use him anyway. Doesn't matter. Finally get that. Let's just see. I do have another Hoopa here. And I can power him up pretty quickly. Look at this. Lots of energy. Let's just get one on him. So if I do need a 60, a single 60, I can use this Hoopa if I want to snipe on the bench. I have the other one for 130. I'm going to use Pal Pad to get 2 Guzma back in my hand. I almost should use Plumeria here, and I will. Oh, I shouldn't have used it. Hurting my attack. But we'll instruct anyway. Alright, doesn't matter. Oh, for a second I thought I missed something and he blocked it. So it would have been 140 anyway. My opponent's low on options here. He's got to get 3 cards. And this is one of the things I like about... Ooh, that's bad. I like about decks with single prizes. I've just misplayed this, and I may just lose this game out of... I mean, half of it's talking, right? I'm talking and not listening. So... I mean, I could use Hoopa to snipe him off the bench. He could have an Acerola. 2 Hoopas would do it. That was the best. I love Dialga because I play a lot of those kind of mirror me attacks where I can steal the opponent's attack. And he could... Oh, wow. He might be able to pull this out with the Timeless GX, right? Wow, I was so confident, and now I'm dreading what's gonna happen next. Because I may have just snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. That 1 energy too, Plumeria, because then I could have used Hoopa to kill him on the bench. Wow. Oh, he's got to collect 3 prizes, so 1, 2, 3. Can he do it? Does he have the energy to... I think he's figuring out what to do here. That was obvious. Now he's going to put at least 2 of those in his hand. And he'll only do 60 with Claw Slash. He's going to have to come up with more. And I think I'm going to play a Sycamore next if I don't get a Guzma. If I get a Guzma, I'm feeling great. And either of these 2 can knock out Sol. Let's see, do we see one more? Oh, GX attack. Alright. So here we go. What do I have here? Guzma. Good night. Yeah, I've got enough juice here. Good game. Very good game, man. My opponent almost took that back from me, so... But I think you get a good idea. I like when I do videos and I win, although, you know, I could deal with that, all the glitter after the game, but I'm only showing you the game that I play, and that's it. So this is it. And it's good to see when I win, because then you could see what the deck is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to be played. And granted, you get more out of losing and you improve your deck more that way, but it's also good to see how the mechanics work, how everything works. And I think this worked pretty well together. You know, Hoopa is the main guy. I didn't do any of the bench damage this game that I recall, but definitely you can see how quick you can power him up with Malamar, how this is totally the focal point of the deck, and without it, the deck would be much tougher. There is a little bit of energy acceleration, but without these guys, it gets tough. But Clefairy, I mean, what can I say about this card? I love this card. It will also be going away soon, but you could probably find other cards that are going to be mirroring attacks, maybe Mimikyu or something like that in this deck, and that might help with drawing as well, if you're thinking past September. Shining Lugia, good card, not a great card. This does help out in games where your opponent has lots of abilities. If you're thinking like Metagross or any version of Zoroark or stuff like that, you know, Shining Lugia helps against fighting decks too, because it's got the resistance. Oranguru can become an attacker, so this, you could even throw like 4 of these in this deck. You know, if you're facing a lot of decks with your opponent has a lot of energy. I mean, just 2 energy, he's doing 100 damage, and I talk about like that's kind of like the Mendoza line. That's the, if you're playing, you know, a non-GX EX deck and you're doing 1 prize, you want to hit at least 100 per turn. 120 is good, 140 or more is great. So, you know, even with 2 energy, you know, sometimes you'll get 3. Of course, Oranguru's problem, you want to keep him for the Instruct, but also a weakness to fighting, which is big here. But you know, you have enough Psychic here that you should be able to keep the fighting at bay. And if you come across something like Lightning, you know, you can keep you know, against electric decks, you can keep Shining Lugia out. You know, fighting Fury Belt, great, adds another 10 points of damage, which adds up, gives it hit points. Everything kind of works in synergy. See how we can get rid of cards. Plumeria, there you go. There's anti, I forgot what I call them, but basically 2 cards that work in opposition that maybe I should reconsider. But it works. It actually works together. They're synergistic when we're using Plumeria to empty our hand, not when we're attacking. But otherwise, I really like this deck. It plays pretty well. If you're looking for a cheap Malamar deck, this is a good cheap one. You know, we'll see in September what we can replace this card with. But there's a few possibilities out there. But for right now, this is great. Same thing with Clefairy. But in any case, thanks a lot for watching, and until next time.